Hello! Some of you might know that last weekend was the finale for the 2023 League of Legends World Championships, which, even if, like myself, you only know the very basics of how the game works, was incredible to watch. Last year around this time, I released a video where I envisioned one of the winning players' dream skin, a Honkai Impact Elysia-inspired Ashe, which, between you and me, while my art is objectively just worse than Riot's amazing team of artists, I do think my design fit the bill a little better of what Beryl was going for, although probably because I am not going to get sued by either company for copyright infringement. Well, at least hopefully I'm not. Anyways, this year, while I kind of am very interested in continuing that trend of drawing skins that League says no to, and try my hand at drawing Carrie's dream New Jeans themed Lux skin, I decided to go down a completely different route, and also decided that I need to start beef with a multi-billion-dollar company and fix their ugliest cosmetics drops. Okay, that was a little aggressive. Just a disclaimer, I'm not looking for beef. I am not making any monetary gains by doing this, and this is all in good fun. Riot, please don't come for me. I have nothing that you want. Also, secondary disclaimer, this is a much shorter video than I initially intended it to be. With the holidays and whatnot, I was trying to get 3 drawings done, and at the point that the video needed to start getting edited, I had only finished 1.5 drawings. So unfortunately, you only get 1 drawing this time instead of 3 like I had hoped, but I hope you enjoy it anyways. So let's actually discuss what this video is about. I reached out to one of my friends who actually knows things and has maybe thoughts and opinions on League, and he directed me to what he and many others believe to be the worst Lux skin available, Commando Lux. And comparing this skin to literally just the default skin, yeah, no shade to anyone who likes it or anything, but I personally would probably not be jumping to pay money for it. And now for my third disclaimer already in this video. I know that my art is nowhere near the level of a Riot artist, and so all you League players out there whose second nature is to be toxic, please have a small smackerel of holiday spirit. Let it into your hearts and be nice. But you know, if you have to get it out of your system, in the words of Shaco, the joke's on you. More interactions means YouTube pushes my content more. No, but actually, I'm a sensitive soul. I'm not built to survive in a toxic environment, so, like, hold back a little. I accept constructive criticism, but please, have mercy. So now that I've asked my viewers to be kind, let's tear a new one for the design team that let this Lux skin make it through multiple review stages. No, silly jokes. In general, most of the League of Legends Commando line is not really among my favorite skins, even if I have seen only very few skins. However, I do think for a number of other characters in this line, this was a pretty decent look. Lux specifically looks very out of place. I did check when the Commando Lux skin came out, and Caitlyn was available as a relatively new champ during that time, so I think she would have been a much better fit for this line than Lux. I know Caitlyn already has a lot of military themed skins, but you know, that's kind of rightfully so, as she is the most cop-coded character, and by cop-coded I mean she is literally the sheriff of Piltover. But you know what? Maybe the goal was to put out a skin for what is probably one of the most loved characters in the game. Fair enough. But 80+% of Lux's skins are very cute, light armor, her hair is flowing out, around, and in pretty much all of her splash art, she's hard selling the idea that absolutely destroying you with her light beam is effortless. So multidimensionality and people being able to have and show multiple emotions aside, I think the Commando Lux skin is missing a lot of the defining features that we anticipate of seeing Lux. So in the context of changes that I made, the first thing I got rid of was this headband helmet situation. Not only does it just visually add a lot of weight around her brow and face, it weighs down her hair, which Lux just has this supernaturally fluffy shampoo ad perfect hair in all of the drawings that I've seen her in. Which is not to say that women can't be gritty, I just do think that Lux is one of those girls that always seems to have perfect hair no matter what they go through. And girly girls are no more and no less valid than gritty girls. So the second thing I removed from the drawing was somehow the both incredibly bulky looking but also simultaneously skin tight armor that she is wearing. I traded out for something very reminiscent of Helga Sinclair from Disney's Atlantis. I think Helga and Lux have a lot in common visually. Both are blonde, both are fabulously stylish, and both will absolutely mess you up. Because I took inspiration specifically from Helga, it did for a hot moment make me wish to put Lux's hair into a cute braid. However, there are not a ton of Lux skins where she puts her hair up. I know there are a couple, but she's not really ever featured with braids. Not that it can't be done, but I didn't want to deviate too strongly from the base skin. All that about lightweight military fashion and whatnot having been said, I do think it is possible to do a very nice heavy armor Lux. I think given the chance to restart, you could cross over some more traditional military garb with some more modern tech wear, maybe put her in some charcoal grays and blacks instead of the olive drab. I think it would have been gorgeous. Unfortunately, I set myself to a very unrealistic time constraint. I didn't feel like I had the time to go back and change what I already set in motion, which is too bad, but you know what? Maybe I do a redraw of a redraw. It's been done. The last thing I did was trade out this weird weapon that Lux is carrying in the Commando splash art. However, I have to honestly say that I don't think my alternative is better. I know I should be more optimistic about this, but you know, while I do hate whatever this is, staying within the realm of realistic tactical commando equipment was probably not the strategy here. I know in a speed paint it looks like all my decisions and drawings are made very quickly, but in real time I spent a very long time deliberating on what I should make Lux's staff into. I did eventually settle on this black tactical axe with an extra long handle, but I think you can tell by how loosely I render it that it's not particularly my favorite part of the drawing. I think it would have been a better route to just do like a double-edged tactical spear or something that's maybe a little more decked out and futuristic and kind of just abandoning traditional tactical weapons as a whole. I also totally avoided any firearm looking type of weapons because I just felt like anything too rifle adjacent would make her look like a badly designed Caitlyn skin. So, you know, maybe that was the same issue that Riot was running into when they came up with this thing, but you know, who knows. Interestingly enough, if Riot did decide to retry at Commando Lux, it wouldn't actually be the first Commando reskin. Galio actually had a very different Commando skin than he does now, and I think his new splash art looks really cool, but I think Galio got a reskin because his entire character design got a revamp as a whole, so I think that probably played into why he got a new Commando skin a significant amount. Anyways, so enough about the differences. Let's talk about me and my art struggles. Outside of the typical issues of constantly needing to reference an existing art piece done by someone way above my skill level, plus needing to draw a background, plus working with a much more dynamic pose than I'm used to, I also have been very out of practice for making digital art lately. I know I released something for Halloween a couple weeks ago, and I did a couple of digital drawings during the big Ren Fair season debacle, which if you've been keeping up with my videos, you know how that chaos went down. But immediately before August, July was art fight, and I was pretty much sitting down to spend a couple of hours on digital art every single day. And while this Lux drawing took me maybe 4 hours tops of recording time in total, I can assure you that was not all in one sitting. There was lots of time that wasn't included in the recording that was dedicated to hunting for references and other things like that. And you know, I'm just gonna be honest, it's kind of been a struggle to get back into the pacing of things. And this drawing was certainly an interesting challenge to be one of the more recent pieces of art that I'm coming back to work on. Nonetheless, I did have a lot of fun. Honestly, there is nothing like the League of Legends finals to get me back into wanting to push myself to make more immaculate art pieces and spend more time considering dynamic poses and interesting lighting and backgrounds. And there's also nothing quite like the League of Legends finals to make me re-download League of Legends, even though I know for sure that I'm never gonna play it because I rarely make time for myself to play the video games that I want to play, let alone a video game that I know will consume my entire life and soul and happiness and well-being. Speaking of the League Worlds, spoilers ahead if you haven't seen it or if you plan on watching it, but every year, it's so cool. I'm a big fan of both the New Jeans song and the Heartsteel song, and I remain optimistic for these skins this year. World skins I don't think have ever consistently been my favorite skins, but I do think the T1 colors this year are a very fun color palette to work with, and plus with how much Renata was featured this season as a champ, I would love to see a skin for her come out. Not that it would affect me in any way gameplay wise or even financially, because we all know that I'm very cheap, and I can hardly justify normal purchases that I make, let alone even consider purchasing in-game cosmetics for a game that I never actually play. But I like looking at pretty art just as much as the next person, and I like Renata as an overall character design. Yeah, for some reason, I couldn't tell you why. Definitely nothing to do with any of my usual preferences for character design or anything like that. So in the last minute here of the drawing, let me go back to my roots and complain about my art skills and having to draw hair. Little jokes. While I didn't love this hair drawing process, there was a certain efficiency to it that made me feel like I have finally made some progress in my art after all these years. Honestly, looking back at art I've made at the start of the channel and art that I've made in recent days, while I know for myself I have a long way to go yet before I get anywhere that I'm happy with, starting a channel and making art consistently, even if it's just one piece a week, has moved mountains in terms of my own learning and art process and motivation to start new and different things than I usually work on. And I'm not saying that everyone needs to start a whole YouTube channel and put out art videos to make progress, because that's a pretty major commitment, but I think it's just crazy what reliably dedicating time to something you want to improve at does, which I know is literally the most basic thing I could possibly say, but you know, it's true. Also, it's exactly what my Lux main friend would say to me about me being too intimidated to actually take up playing League of Legends with everyone. But with that, we can close out the video, and behold, it's Commando Lux 2.0, I think. You know what, I gotta say, I'm kind of torn on the sunglasses. I didn't want to deviate too far from the original skin, and I felt like without the glasses, she kind of looked like a boom mic operator. I think I could have done better if I wasn't pushing myself to try and finish more designs, but I do think overall, my version still has more of the traditional Lux vibes compared to the original Commando skin. But you know what? Let me know nicely what you think, and let me know if you have a skin that you'd like to see redone, or if you can think of a better way to have incorporated her staff, because that will probably bother me forever. I will be continuing this at least as a mini series, but I am so tempted to branch off and draw that New Jeans Carrier Lux skin. I already have so many ideas, but you know, I'm very bad at finishing projects. If you think my channel has a lot of unfinished projects, believe me, there are so many more that haven't even made it to the uploadable video stage yet. But you know what? As a thank you for making it to the end of my chaotic video, I will spoil a little bit of what the next skin I'm working on is going to be. It's Rusty Blitzcrank. Tune in next time to see which will happen first. Will I actually be able to draw a mech by the next time I need to upload a video, or will I go insane from drawing all the mechanical bits and joints? Who knows? Not me.